What's up guys, this is James. I just wanted to do a quick kind of overview of my gear that I have whenever I take it on camping trips, overnight trips, and just the general things that I bring along with me that I feel that are very important to being in the outdoors. So we're just going to jump right into it. Hang on, stick with us, it's going to be fun. Alright, so let's get right into it. So we have a LA Police Gear Atlas backpack. These run for about maybe 40-45 bucks on Amazon, and they're an awesome pack. They're made of 600D Kudura, and they last. I've took this on so many fishing, camping, bow fishing trips, and it lasted perfectly. Nothing is wrong with this bag whatsoever. The zipper is held up, the insides, the webbing, everything is held up perfectly. So for all the abuse that I put this through, totally worth the money. So on the outside, basically we're going to have our battery bag. I put it in a plastic bag in case if it rains on me, you don't have to worry about those going bad on you. On the very inside, I have soap in case I wanted to wash off my fingernails, and I do also have some Purell as well. I wear contacts, and so since I get everything under the sun under my fingernails, this is perfect for that. I do have some lemon pepper seasoning. I'm always cooking up things like trout. A little olive oil, which I spray on a pan, which I'll show you in just a moment as well. Alright, let's see on the inside here. Toilet paper. You absolutely need toilet paper. And get the camper's toilet paper because it just degrades really quickly. So don't get regular toilet paper or that's going to like be in the woods forever. That's not good, you know? Alright, another important thing, you want the repel or off anything with like a high DEET content, because when it gets to be at night, and especially if you're around any type of lakes or rivers, it gets really buggy really quick once the sun goes down. So you definitely want to have that. On the very top, we're going to have our headlamp. Basically, this is going to get us through any type of like, you know, dark situation when, you know, it's just about dusk and you're like, oh crap, I haven't, you know, found my camp yet. This is going to get you to where you need to go. Especially, you know, in the middle of the night, if you want to read or something like that, you can always pop this on the top of your tent and everything will, you know, illuminate. So really, really nice. Besides that, compass. Always have a good idea of where you're going and where the road is where you parked at. So if you're like headed west, you know, all you have to do is be like, oh, well, I'm going to go east to get back to my car. And that'll usually get you right back to your road that you're going to be on. And it'll get you to some place that you really need to be. Sometimes when you're in the wilderness, when you're going up and down and left and right, you tend to walk in circles. So with a compass, this really helps you out and keeps you more on track to where you need to go and how to get back to where you were. Alright, besides that, you definitely want to have your bandanas. Bandanas are super, super important. You can use them from everything from scrubbing out pots to, you know, if you get cut, you know, you can use this to put pressure on it. You can use it for, if something's too hot, you know, you can just, boop, you know, use that as like a little candle warmer. Alright, on to the inside. So, what we have here is the Big Agnes Air Core Ultra. So, this is going to be the 20x78. This is one of the best sleeping pads that I've ever slept on. And I slept on the Thermarest, the Z-Lite, which is terribly uncomfortable. Horrible product. I don't know how they marketed it so well to where like a ton of people bought them, but that is an awful sleeping pad. This is amazing. This is going to be a really thick, inflatable. I never have to worry about this popping. It's going to be a sleeping pad where super comfortable. You're getting, I think, like just about 2 inches, maybe a little bit over 2 inches of air to sleep on tonight. And it's awesome. It just works really well. It's a little expensive. It's like 107 bucks, 109 bucks, something like that, but well worth it. You want to wake up, especially when you're hiking and you're camping, you want to be able to sleep well so you can enjoy the day the next day, because if you have a terrible night of sleep and then you got to wake up and then you got to pack up all your stuff, it just feels like hell. So make yourself as comfortable as you can possibly do it. And then plus this guy only weighs like 1 pound, so totally, totally worth it. All right. Next up, we got our cook kit. Whoop. We got the Peak 1 burner. Alright, it's a butane propane mix. You just pop that on there, You turn the little dial until you start to hear the gas, and then you light it up. What's really cool is this guy kind of swivels out here, and then that's where you put your cooking can on top of there, and then you're good to go. So that is that. And obviously you're going to need something to light that with, so I always bring like 3 lighters along with me just in case if, you know, shit goes crazy. I like these little rice sides. They work perfect. They're the perfect amount for, you know, if you're hungry and you're starving and you need some food. You just boil up some water and then put these packets in, you're good to go. I always add like some chicken or some pork or some type of canned food, and that works really well. All right, the next thing is going to be our rain gear. This is just a Frog Tog bag. Basically it just has a jacket and pants in it, and it only weighs probably about, I don't know, 3/4 of a pound, but invaluable. If you are, you know, with any type of camera gear or anything like that that you can't get wet, it's really nice to have this. And then plus you can double this as some type of like thermal gear in case it's kind of cold in the morning or a little windy or anything like that. This is just extra clothes where you can pop on. I totally forgot my sweater the other day, and I was like, oh crap man, it's really cold in the morning, you know. I only had a tank top on and I had my sleeping bag, and that was it. And I put this top on and man, worked perfect. So this is like my cooking gear. You can get these guys. Always get steel, don't get aluminum. Aluminum leaks all sorts of toxins and stuff. So I get 2 of these guys. I use one for cooking trout, so like a lot of the stuff can just like drip down. And then whenever I'm eating, I just put 2 together and it kind of closes the holes a little bit. So I can have like rice or corn or, you know, fish and everything, and then that'll be like my plate. So, and they're only like $1 at Walmart. I always like to have a hat, because at night it gets really cold. Even when it's like, you know, 80 degrees during the day, sometimes at night it gets really, really cold, down to like, you know, 30, and you'll freeze. You'll freeze your butt, and the first thing that happens when you start to lose heat is your heat dissipates out of your head. So your head and your feet, you definitely want to keep those covered. So a little hat always helps. This is awesome. They call these like a shema. But basically it's just a towel, and I love it because whenever I eat, this is kind of like my little placemat to keep away, you know, either sand or dirt or bugs or whatnot. You know, it's just nice to be up off the ground. And then plus, if the pack gets too heavy around your shoulder and you don't have enough padding or something like that, I use this as like a little padding to go over my shoulder, and then that just helps a lot. But there's a lot of different, like, you know, uses for this guy. Bring it along and you'll see how many uses you can actually have with it. Now on the very back of this pack, we got one more. Yeah, Baco Laplander for chopping up wood. Awesome little knife. Things that a lot of people don't think about when they go out is having little bags. Little bags are awesome for a million different reasons, especially garbage bags too. Garbage bags can double as like a rain suit, or say if your pack is just getting soaked and you have some like type of valuable stuff, you can just put your pack in a garbage bag. Or if your pack's like, you know, extremely dirty from like, you know, getting on the ground, you can put your pack in a garbage bag and then put it inside your tent. Or, you know, if your shoes smell and you don't want bugs getting in it when you're about to go to sleep, you can put your shoes in the bag and then put them in the tent. Then you don't have to smell your stinky ass shoes all night. So these are awesome to have. Always just keep a couple extra bags. You never know what you're going to need them for, but they work so well. A lot of the times I just bring a bunch just for trash bags. So my cans, like my whatever I'm eating, you know, I just pop it in the trash bag and then I put it back in my backpack. So that's that. And then I always carry a couple gloves as well. So if I'm ever handling like mushrooms or, you know, foreign things that I just don't know if they're safe for me to really be handling, especially on mushrooms. There's, you know, destroying angels, and there's all types of like deadly mushrooms that if you get it on your skin and then you forget about it and then you start eating later, you're gonna get all that poison in you. And then plus like poison ivy, if like, you know, you're looking to dig worms for fishing or something like that, it's always good to have, you know, different gloves to just take care of business. Cool? All right. And this guy, which I love with this pack, Basically, it's just like a little table placemat, and it's perfect for cutting. Like, say if you need to cut the head off a fish, or you know, if you have like any type of game that you just need to like chop down, and you know, you're kind of working with something. Because like if you're trying to chop the head off a fish or something like that, you know, and you're doing it right by the dirt, you know, it's just going to get messy and it's not easy. It's always nice to have like a little place setting where you can have something just a little rigid, and it helps you, even if you're cutting vegetables or something like that, it's a perfect little like cutting plate. And they include that in the Atlas, the 12-hour Atlas LAPG backpack. So always really nice to have that. All right, the tent is going to be a Marmon tungsten 2-person. They say 2-person, but it's good for like 1 person and a small dog would be perfect, or 1 person in your pack, and then that's about it. You don't really want to sleep with 2 people in this unless like you're really close with that person. Besides that, we have the REI sleeping bag, really good for about 20 degrees. It says 30 degrees, but I think it's probably meant a little bit more for 20 degrees. And then on the other side, we're going to have fishing pole. This is just going to be an ugly stick fishing pole. I think it's 6 feet. And then I turned an old selfie stick into a frog gigger, which is awesome because whenever I see like, you know, any type of dangerous animal that I just don't want to be close to, I can just boom, telescope this out. And this goes actually pretty far, and it's pretty rigid as well. So I can just be from far away, you know, a rattlesnake or a timber rattler or a cottonmouth or anything like that, you know, I can just boom, you know, stab it or get it away from me, or, you know, do whatever I need to do, like move it away from where I need to go. So it's nice to have that. A lot of times in Texas, I would be along the river, and there would always be water moccasins. So this would come in handy so many times, just to like move them out of the way, you know, because most of the time when I'm bow fishing, I'm just like walking around and I'm not like thinking about what's happening, and then all of a sudden there's this giant snake like right next to my leg, and you know, they're super toxic. If they bite you, they're super poisonous. So that's that side. All right, we'll get back to you on the last of the little bit. Okay, so the 2 knives that I always carry around with me, one are going to be the Essie Avicipa knife. It's going to be a flat ground knife. It's going to be about 3.5 inches. Awesome little blade, works perfect, never rusts up on me, which is really awesome. Made of Aus 8 steel, and Essie is just such a good knife company. Everything about this knife, the fit, the finish, the way that it, you know, prepares food, vegetables, it cuts so smooth and it works so well. And then plus it's only like, I think 35, 40 bucks. So you really can't beat that price. The second knife that I have is going to be the Bracamo by Tops knife. It's going to be about 5 1/4 inches. The blade is going to be a Scandi grind. Pretty nice. I did make the handles myself, so they're not going to come that way. These are linen micarta handles. Love this knife. Nicknamed it Sparky after my little dog I used to have back in the day, because it kind of has that gray tone that his hairs had. So, but yeah, 3/16 inch. This is basically going to help me for cutting firewood and cutting the heads off of like animals or anything like that, you know. Anything that I need to break through bone real quick, that's going to do it, and it's going to do it really well. Cool? All right, back to the review. All right, so what we have here is the Condor hydration pack, and inside of it I have the Nalgene 38-ounce stainless steel single wall bottle. Really nice in case you forget your filtration device, like your Sawyer or your Life Straw. You can just boil water in this since it's a single wall, and get the job done that way. On the very inside, we have the Pathfinder's 25-ounce stainless steel cup. This is what I cook in. I got a little bail handle that I just put on there, which is really nice. And then what's really nice is it actually stacks in to a little Walmart stainless steel cup. And I believe it's the same size as like the GSO cup, so, but it's cheaper. It's only like $5 at Walmart. So you got that and that in there. All right. And then you got a little lid that you can just pop on there. case you wanted to boil water faster. It's pretty nice. On the very inside, we're going to have another handkerchief, and there's so many uses that I have for this. Like I said, and then you got some steel wool to, you know, wipe out any food. And then I always keep some silverware, just a spoon and a knife. Stainless steel, everything. I don't like aluminum. Alright, the last thing that we got going on here is my fishing pack. Alright, on the very inside we have our GoPro waterproof case in case I want to let go of the trout and, you know, show you guys what it's doing underneath the water. We got a little tackle box, fly sinkers, hooks, treble hooks, bobbers, and then on the next we have a extra rod for the ugly stick, and then got some pliers to get the hooks out of the fish's mouths, and then we got another tackle box with like trout flies and a couple deep runners, a couple shallow runners, so that is pretty nice. On the very outside we're going to have my backup fishing rod in case something happens where I break my main rod. I got an extra one. Totally worth it, because if you're carrying long sticks, something's going to happen where it's going to break. So always nice to have a nice telescoping rod where it's very compact, so you don't even notice it's there half the time. And then I got a little compartment right here, my fish stringer, and then we have my measuring tape in there, and then I have a lighter as well. And I do have one more thing that you definitely need when you're fishing: nail clippers. Alright, so that's that. Yeah, that's about basically everything that I have in there. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the gear, or if you're curious about, hey, you know, would this be a good tent for, you know, this type of person, or like this type of like outing, how strong is this, you know, just leave any question, comment in the comment box below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. Yeah, so we'll go from there. You guys have a great night, and thanks for watching, guys. All right, bye.